Hey everyone, this is Benjamin Lieb, the creator of Harmony Parts, and in this video I will be introducing you to the general idea, the general gist, and the functionality of what this can do for you and your ensemble or choir or chorus. So Harmony Parts is a repertoire management system where you can upload songs, multi-part harmony songs, and documents associated with them and videos associated with them so you can have them all organized and so that your members can go there and learn their parts in the most effective way possible, or at least the most effective way I have been able to imagine, and it's constantly improving. So let's dive in. I'm going to go ahead and log in with Google, though you can do it with a password if you want. And I land on my dashboard. And in my dashboard, I see my organizations and user profile. I'm going to, as a demonstration, jump into Land of Sky Chorus, which is my home barbershop chorus of about 50 or 60 members. And once we're in there, I'm an administrator, so a normal user wouldn't see some of the details here. But we have several playlists, which are songs in an order for a purpose. Here's all of the songs for this organization, and here's a playlist that the admin has created. So I'm going to dive into general repertoire and I'm going to look for a song. How about Keep the Whole World Singing? Load my audio here. And this is the song player page, which is the kind of the meat of the website for users. Here we have a bunch of controls and different tracks. And just giving you a kind of a layout of this page, we have some information about the song here. And then we have a document. And what else? We don't have any videos associated with this song. I'll demonstrate that later. So let's look at the general idea of this. Here is a track for tenor, lead, baritone, bass, and these are actually separate audio files. And this interface lets you kind of manipulate them independently. So let's just give you an idea of what that looks like.
Keep the whole world singing all day long.
Okay, so here we have all the tracks playing at the same time. We have some controls we can use. For example, this little one is a solo, so I can hit this and solo the track. So
All day long, watch goodwill come a-winging on us.
this might be helpful if you're like me, sometimes have a little bit of trouble staying in your lane to make sure you're singing just the notes in your part. When they're all together, it can be a little confusing which notes are your specific part. Another way that traditional barbershop or choirs do this is they actually pan left and right for the different tracks, and that helps you isolate in one ear. And you can do that too if you like that. So here we have.
Smile the
So here's all right.
while you are singing. Oh, carry.
The looping functionality is pretty interesting if you're not used to that. Say if there's a phrase you're learning. Let's actually take our first phrase.
Keep the whole world singing all day long.
That seems pretty good. So we have a phrase here that ends around here and starts around here, I think. Yeah, so right about here. So what I can do is these little yellow teardrops are what we call loop boundary markers. So if I could drag that to the beginning and to the end, it can be a little challenging to make sure you're getting the end. Let's see here. Not too long. So we'll go here. Okay, so this is the end of the phrase. So if you were wanting to practice this particular phrase, you might want to listen to it over and over. So this button here is the looping, whether it's on or off. So if it's off, it won't respect these boundary markers. It'll just keep going. But since it is on, we'll try this out.
Keep the whole world singing all day long. Keep the
It's a little far here. Let's bring it here. Anyway, you get the idea. When it gets to here, it loops back. If this is something that you might want in the future, you can also save this loop. You can hit the little plus button, and that makes this red bar. And so if you refresh this page, go back to, let's actually take the opportunity to look for that. Keep the whole world singing. So you'll notice that when you come back in, that loop is there. If you click on the loop, you get to play that particular loop. So if you notice here, it says deactivate loop. So we're going to deactivate this loop so we can create another loop. And you can have multiple loops saved if you wanted. So just to demonstrate that, we'll create a loop here, and then we'll deactivate it, and then maybe make another loop that overlaps this one just a tad so we can see what that looks like. So ideally, these will be arranged in a way that won't confuse you, but sometimes they might overlap depending on what it is you've done, especially if you've selected a lot. Um, you can remove loops just as easy as you can create them. You can press the minus sign to delete the loop, and we'll demonstrate that. And we'll select this to activate this, and then this reset loop markers will set those little boundaries to the far ends. All right, moving along in functionality, that's looping. We have starting pitches that the administrator may or may not add to your tracks, and if you're practicing this with a group, you can hit these. Okay, those seem to be the starting notes for those parts, and you can also find the starting note for each track. Pitch changes, obviously, pitch.
Keep the whole world singing all day.
That may or may not be useful to you, and you can speed it up as well, demonstrate that.
All day long, what good will come of we?
Obviously, just speeds it up and down. Let's see. Another interesting feature that I've recently added that you might care about is if you want a kind of an audio file of a pre-mixed track. How should I demonstrate this? I'll just go ahead and reset these and start it from here. So this is the record button. And so if you start playing, let's say you wanted,
Whole world singing all day.
so this is a mix that, let's say we have a certain panning and certain volume of the other tracks that we like, that we would like to maybe listen to in our car or offline or something like that. We can record what we've done here with this record button as much of the tune as you want. Maybe you want the whole one, maybe you want the part of it. And then when you're done, you press the record button again, and you'll notice this download recording button has become active, and you can actually you can see it right here that we've downloaded a WAV file to our computer that would be that recording. Let's see if I can find it without, here it is. Let's see if we can drag it into our audio player. So this is what we just played in the mixer being used in an audio application on my computer. Here's some help bubbles that should show up kind of in a staggered way to give you a little bit of an intro. Some troubleshooting information over here. If there's no audio, which can happen on cell phones. If, for example, on an iPhone, you have the little switch on the side turned to orange and you won't get any, it's like silence mode. You won't get any audio. PDF is also pretty explanatory. You can download this if you want, or you can just look at it in in the browser format. You can go to full screen mode, press escape to get out of that, and you can download the document to your computer or to your device if you want to. Also forgot to mention that there's download links actually for each track on the side here. So if you particularly want this track file, then you can download it and do whatever you need with it. But that's basically the lay of the land. There's a little heart here, which means that this song is favorited. So if I were to go back to my dashboard in my favorite sec, I can see that Keep the Whole World Singing is favorited. Obviously, you can change that at will. There's a bit of a tutorial that gives a lot more information maybe than I'm giving right here. And yeah, I think that's it from a user's perspective. Yeah, happy singing.